Alright, let's get this started. It's time to experiment with some heavy frigate type of style with the Corsairs, and a little bit of everything else. But I even already made a secondary fleet that mixes it up a little bit, and has a lot more salt running for me. It remains to be seen if I even like this fleet, since I only have one cruiser, at least for capturing objectives quickly, and I kind of dislike that. I like the 3 falls, since that, if I did the test correctly, it's only like a 1 or 2 second gap between a Void Stalker and these 3 falls all capturing an objective at the same time. So I feel like there's some misdirection to be had here. Never mind the burst damage is quite absurd with 3 falls. And how many? Let's see, 8? Yeah, I'm just trying to understand how many pulsars I actually have with this fleet. So yeah, 8 and then 6 more. Okay, so it's not quite the 15, or at least equivalent to the Aggiani. But to be fair, my Aggiani fleet kind of forfeited one of the cruisers having pulsars for the convenience of 270-degree star cannons, or las cannons I suppose is what they call them there. At least that way it gives me another way to bring shields down without wasting my pulsars. Get more permanent damage that way. But I'm interested to get started here, and at least get a feel for how this plays out as. I don't know if I'm going to play with both frigate fleets just yet, but I want to get a good grasp on how it feels anyway, if nothing else. What are my main upgrades with that said? Well, I have lots of torpedoes, it's just a question of if I can hit with them, for that to really matter. Otherwise, portrait set. Everything's set, let's get... Well, I don't want to do skirmish. The one benefit I know I'll have an opponent right away. It's just going to be incredibly one-sided, I would argue, if I were to play against AI. Don't tell me how I get that idea. Hell, it'd be one way to cheat the system and not have it for a bunch of, objectives in the way. Hello, welcome to the stream there, Urjet. I hope I pronounced that. Irijet? Irijet? I don't know. I'm trying to mix in an I there between the J and T when there isn't one. But welcome to the stream nonetheless. And we're going to start right off with Imperial Navy. Now the main thing to keep in mind with the frigates at least is they don't benefit from the spear crystal lenses. So if I want to keep the shields down for long periods of time, utilizing what I'm still going to dub as a bug for the falls, or at least for all the for the upgrade in general, is I need the falls to be constantly shooting, not so much the Hellbore. I've been calling them Hellborn, I suppose, all this time. They're really, what is it, Hellbore? Hellibore? I've got to get that out of my head. I don't know why I started calling them Hellborn. Nonetheless, we're good here, I think. It's just a question of getting a feel for it. And like I said, I want these 3 to grab objectives, as many as I can at least, and make my opponent think there's a Void Stalker around, since how they should play against a Void Stalker as opposed to 3 falls should be a little bit different, since this is a lot more absurd damage, especially when you include torpedoes into the mix. Which is why I feel like I'm gonna like this kind of composition more than the Auroras and all that. But nonetheless, this is kind of first play testing. It almost makes me wonder if I even need a disruption bomb, if I were to be serious, just because of how convenient the spear crystal lenses even is. But I do have stasis, might as well grab the stasis bomb, we'll get going.
Setting sail.
So I have an easy way to grab these objectives, at least there's 3 on the left here. And once we get a sense of what we're up against, well, generators don't really matter, for what I already hinted at with the spear crystal lenses. It's just a question if I can get that consistent fire or not.
Taking new position.
Since again, my frigates don't benefit from that, so their star cannons aren't really all that convenient for keeping shields down.
Setting sail.
Oh, we got one ship
You have
there.
seized a strategic area.
You don't have high energy turns, so I wonder what I should prioritize with that said.
As the fates
Since really I want to kill the engines for the high energy turn above all else.
we obey.
And actually I'll have a frigate here
The
grab this
enemy has
point.
seized a strategic area.
And then we'll group these all together for a nice bigger burst if I control it properly.
Yes, Commander.
And then once I have these 3 objectives, my opponent's going to have to do something.
Rides the solar
it goes without saying, there's well, with Grand Cruisers, it's very likely there's only a single frigate if there's any frigates at all. I just gotta somehow spot it if I want to kill it, ideally without getting my entire fleet revealed. Which is gonna be tricky since they're gonna know I'm gonna have like the flagship here, or at least my biggest ships.
As the fates decree, ride the solar winds. Yes, Commander.
You have seized a strategic
Now,
area.
how do I approach this now? Because again, there's a lot of uncertainty if there's a frigate for me to worry about or not.
As the fates decree.
And I'll scanner pulse once this gets captured, maybe, or without a doubt when I get scanner pulsed.
Acknowledge.
To at least make sure, or at least confirm that there's a frigate or not.
Ride the solar
Never mind the fact how likely it'll be for me to catch them. Maybe not kill them,
The enemy has seized a strategic
but at least catch them.
area.
So these are all close range type of ships. I just wish I knew the points for these ships so that way I can gauge if I'm dealing with one frigate or maybe two.
Taking new position.
Okay, I thought I heard something. They just didn't sound like torpedoes if I were to be serious.
Taking new position.
Let's see. And those are just regular cruisers, if not overlords. So it's not all Grand Cruisers.
Acknowledged. We obey. Enemy in our sight.
You have seized
Sadly, I don't have a void
strategic
stalker to
area.
conveniently shoot this, but hell. If I can hit with torpedoes, that'd be great for me.
Yes, Commander.
I don't know how likely it is to hit with torpedoes, but if it's coming towards me, that helps some. That was a bad shot, wasn't it? And it has the same armor as me. Let's keep that in mind. As ridiculous as this maneuver may be, it does have the same armor. I just have more health.
Setting sail. Taking new position.
And that kind of reveals nothing. That is like the best case scenario for me if I were to be serious. My opponent's left wondering where all my ships are. They get no intel, and possibly they have no frigates anymore either. Now we just gotta ambush this as effectively as possible.
Acknowledged.
Oh, I already have a secondary fleet with a Shadow, or 3 Auroras, and 5 Hellbore, so I don't know if that's... I'm assuming you're the same person, that's the fleet you're referring to. That's a secondary fleet I've already built. It remains to be seen how effective it is, since I have yet to test either.
Until the end.
I really want to just go after a flagship. It's kind of it's a bit of a fallacy to go after the most durable ship.
Void is our home.
And I heard another frigate pulse, let's keep that in mind too. So that answers that one question.
All weapons fire at will. Yes, Commander.
I think I want to wait till I get closer, although it is conveniently turned towards me.
We serve.
That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to lob a bunch of torpedoes.
Setting sail. Acknowledged. Taking new position.
And that may have been a bad torpedo angle as well, but still a ridiculous amount of damage.
We obey.
With that all said... Ooh, you're just gonna turn conveniently into my torpedoes. Thank you kindly for that.
As the fates decree.
Well, that's
You
one
have
flagship gone.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
It burnt a lot of my,
Seized a
it
strategic
burnt a full
area.
torpedo charge at least. Well,
Till the end.
there's one problem. What's gonna be my Grand Cruiser? If you want me
Ride
to,
the solar
or is that a different specific fleet? I'm trying to remember what all the cruisers are called. There's the Shadow, Kurnos, Fall, and Eclipse. I don't know what would actually count as a Grand Cruiser. There's a frigate. Not that it's a big deal, but I would have liked to reveal it just for convenience of my falls.
We serve.
This is a really awkward formation for my Hellbore, though.
Setting sail.
But the damage is convenient.
The enemy
Engines
has
are gone.
accumulated
Fleet is completely
25%
isolated.
strategic points.
I turned at a bad time. And now deck's gone.
Until the end. We move together.
I'm gonna deal with you later. That Grand Cruiser's all but dead. Hell, the fire assaults are absurd enough as is. Oh god. Ooh, thankfully I didn't board it, but
Enemy has seized a strategic area.
can I at least call to arms and keep this alive?
Taking new position.
Since I do want to grab objectives.
We serve.
You have accumulated
Oh, it actually did burn to
50%
death,
of strategic
I think.
points.
It's a little misleading, isn't it? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see, pulsars benefit nicely from the crit.
Yes.
It should anyway. Yeah, it's 35% critical hit chance as opposed to 17.
Ride
I don't know what you're talking about there. It's reload that the pulsars don't benefit from.
acknowledged.
Although it is convenient for the Wraith Bone shift. It's just an honest question of when should I switch to reload? Since right now I should seriously consider reload, since my opponent can just hunt me down really damn well at this angle.
Come about with grace.
You have seized a strategic area.
The void is our home.
But yeah, I get a really good critical hit chance with the lock on. I just will admit I may be fixating on it a little bit,
Reload all
since I'm relying almost exclusively on my pulsars to do damage, and it might just bite me in the ass a little bit here.
swiftly.
But we got a mutiny, deck's gone.
As the fates decree.
Let's see, we can easily kill off this frigate at least.
We obey.
Now we just have two cruisers to deal with, which are coming after me.
The void is our home. Yes, Commander.
And I gotta kill these off efficiently, since while I do have a score lead, that's gonna change relatively quickly over time.
Wounds. Enemy in our sight.
Ooh, and engines are down. This is a good opportunity. Well, just a maelstrom of you, I suppose.
Decree. Taking new position.
Oh, those are bad torpedo angles, are they? Nope, those hit.
Ride the solar winds
Those are all good. I'm just visible is the main thing.
till the end.
Yeah, don't underestimate the lock-on. But I will admit that since the pulsars don't benefit from reload, I do get tunnel vision maybe. Since there probably have been some matches where reload could have been more beneficial. More speaking of like the Space Marine match from my last video perhaps. At least for my Auroras, the Void Stalker could have benefited tremendously still keeping the lock-on stance due to the sheer range it has. I just now need
The void is our
to finish this off, I suppose. I was gonna say, yeah, when's my repair's gonna be available? Another 30-ish seconds.
Of strategic points.
But these Roars, or these Hellbore, are working out incredibly well. Just gotta be very careful of their two weaknesses. The fact that they have lower health,
until the end.
and since they have
Taking new
and they're easy to get bored to death, so my firepower can easily be incrementally shot down over time.
Yes, Commander. Come about with
Now, can we finish this off quickly?
call forth the bones.
Oh, that was not... I wanted to do my lock-on, but we didn't get it.
Come about with grace.
Oh, that was a bad torpedo angle, wasn't it?
Strategic area.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that was a terrible torpedo angle. Oh god.
Winds fill our sails.
Let's finish this off. Because, yeah, my opponent has all the objectives, and it's really awkward for me to try and grab them. Hell, we still have a frigate to deal with, apparently. Despite the fact I shot down 2 frigates. So I definitely need to be efficient with this fleet, or willing to forfeit not having my falls in the fight there for long periods of time, if I want to get these objectives.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, 35% critical hit chance for every single shot's amazing.
Lock
Just
weapons on
Again, be mindful what you're shooting at because battleships have a ridiculous resilience to critical hits, so it's probably not practical having it on there. And let's not even talk about the 270-degree arc the starter cannons benefit from, in combination with the spear crystal lenses to keep the shields from recharging.
Until the end.
It is likely going to get fixed, assuming that's a bug. The only reason I consider it a bug is it in all honesty, why wouldn't you take the spear crystal lenses in general? It completely pauses the Necron's health regeneration. It's great for even allowing you to lightning strike and board Eldari ships, never mind the Corsairs, which are really fragile on the boarding front or on the troop count in general.
We move together.
And they completely
seized a
counteract
strategic
supercharged
area.
void shield, or at least the recharging your shield portion of it. So it is really damn potent.
Sail.
Yeah, generator
The fates
repair.
decree.
Which one is it though? Oh yeah, I was looking at that, but it still had maybe 15 seconds when I checked it.
We serve.
I was more worried about my flagship because it lost engines as well, on top of whatever else was
Ride the
critically hit.
solar winds.
You have seized a strategic area.
I don't know where the
enemy
frigate's
has
hiding.
accumulated 75% of strategic points.
But there's not a lot it can do at this point either way. My opponent's just dragging us out. But it goes without saying.
Enemy in our sight.
Oh, it's a light cruiser.
The void is our home.
And of course I got the wrong groups for that matter.
Come about with grace.
I'm completely wrong there. Dauntless is actually scary if I control it poorly.
Taking new position. As the fates decree.
Let's see, I don't have boosters.
Swiftly.
Yeah. Its engines are gone again, thank God. Did I leave those frigates? Yeah, they still have lock on.
Acknowledge.
They just don't have torpedoes now.
We obey. Fates
Ungroup these. Let's fix that quickly.
favor. Come about with grace.
Finish it off quickly.
Yes, Commander.
I still would be in the game if my opponent were to somehow ram that to death. But still. That emphasizes a little bit the problem, not having at least the Void Stalker to just conveniently grab objectives while still being in the fight with its 18,000 range. Void Stalkers. Oh, I already seen that fleet there. In fact, I think I even showcased that fleet briefly on my Friday video, since I specifically talked about at least cutting out an Aurora for more of these Hellbores. I have it done with reload, mind you, but again, I already talked about the value of reload, that it could have been useful in that Space Marine match, at least for the Auroras and Hellbore. Unless I really need those engine critical hits, since that can be incredibly useful in that regard. It goes without saying. Denying them their engines basically means that strike cruiser is out of the battle almost instantly. Since it can't lightning strike, it can't board very easily. The lance could do damage, but again, I have hollow fields to easily negate that incredibly well. But I haven't actually tried it with reload, if I were to be honest. Since I'm much more partial to the lock-on for Eldari, especially with the Void Stalker. Since so long as it's not ambushed by any hidden ships, it should be completely safe. Especially if I decide to have micro warp jump, which is kind of hard to utilize, I will be honest, in comparison to a stasis bomb at least. I haven't actually tried with the 3 Auroras, let alone with the reload, but I think I'm going to actually make that change now, if I were to be serious. Since I've been thinking of swapping out this fleet to be this variant, the only thing I have yet to figure out is how to go about my scouting party. Do I want one Hellbore to kind of spot up front, or do I want 2? In separate portions, mind you. Since, without doubt, it's a lot more simpler to control these in 3 groups. The Falls in one group, 3 Hellbore in the second one, and then the other 3 in the final group. It makes it simpler that way, but if all of them get spotted by a scanner pulse, then I'm in a lot of trouble if my opponent's equipped to deal with them. Stasis and Storms, it's definitely an easy combo, and even You don't even need the stasis bomb to get value of the Maelstrom if you get the engine critical hit, as we kind of seen with our poor Grand Cruisers, and the battleship no less. Otherwise, I'm going to try one more with the falls, and I'll give this Shadow and Aurors a little bit more of a test. It should help alleviate a lot of my problems to a vague extent, since I don't even think I want the Shadow to engage. So I think I'm fine with the Shadow hanging back and just grabbing points. Maybe give an extended range so maybe it can contribute a little bit. It's my thinking at least. Since the Pulsars do so much ridiculous burst damage, especially against something that has really good armor, no less. As we kind of seen with the Space Marines in my last video, the Star Cannons kill things really damn slowly, unless I'm willing to utilize the Fall's Blessing, which helps alleviate that a lot, but it goes without saying, it's really tricky to take advantage of. Pulsars are fun. They're damn fun, maybe not for my opponent when you can immediately get multiple critical hits, especially on a cruiser or light cruiser. Which is why it's probably so important to have the battleship take the hits, if for no other reason than just the sheer amount of shields that they have. If you watched my Custodian video when I had to play against Devil Void Stalker, you will know just how impactful those shields can be, just negating the critical hit chance entirely. Well, it's not even a question if it's the same opponents. Rather, a question if I'm going to be the server host or not. That will alleviate all our concerns. It is the same person though. So now, moment of truth. Will I save us from this nightmare of latency or not? I don't even know what was causing the latency, since my ping was ridiculously good on my end. I am the server host. Considering I won that battle even with the latency, we kind of know how this may go. But it is a different fleet, so this is my first time trying to break it in. So I still got my work cut out for me. It goes without saying. Now, I like having lock on for you, but you're going to be mostly grabbing objectives, aside for occasional support with abilities. So I think we're sticking with Stasis Bomb and maybe Maelstrom. Since with a 3-minute cooldown on this thing, you can literally just go to the other side of the map and come back in time for this to recharge. It works out well in that manner. Do I care about Spear Crystal lenses? If I time it properly, it helps prolong the time it takes for the shields to recharge, but I don't have any Star Cannons on any of these Aurors to kind of take full advantage of it. So I'm just going to give this Shadow a little more means to support. Otherwise, I kind of know what my opponent's feeling. We're just going to have to try and punish them. Actually, I'm going to have a frigate. Yeah, I'm just going to have a frigate go over on the far right and grab that one objective. Kind of do what I've been doing before with these 5 frigates. Help simplify the fleet a bit. I just gotta remember I have 4 control groups now as opposed to 3.
Let the winds fill our sails.
But this looks very similar to the same fleets before, with 2 Dauntlesses. Although it's a little bit tricky to see these blips there. Oh. We got movement. We know there's a ship high in the debris cloud. I will not be fooled. Not one bit.
Yes, Commander.
Now we just gotta watch for more debris moving around. It doesn't look like there's anything else. So they're safe from here on out to kind of ambush me. And since we are kind of playing a less experienced opponent, I could kind of get away with Wraith Bone shifting or boosting forward if I were to be serious. But let's try and play a consistent game if nothing else. And where's this beacon going? Actually, in theory, I think that might just pass me altogether. I should be able to still grab that objective if I'm smart about this.
Ride the solar winds.
Do I want to try and grab this one objective, though, and give away some of my position? Where's the beacon? Okay, beacon completely avoided. Nice, simple there.
The winds fill our sails. As the fates decree.
Now, other than that, there's not really much else to talk about. I'm just observing and trying to get a feel for this right now. Because I'm giving away that there's at least a frigate, or multiple frigates here. I don't know how likely my opponent would think that there's light cruisers here. Hell, they may even think it's a single cruiser with how fast it's capturing. A lot of things I need to keep in mind as far as misdirection, since that's going to be my biggest strength. Try and make them think that the bigger threat's over here, maybe. That way they're flying away from the rest of my fleet, which I can easily shoot at their engines, or at least their stern.
Setting sail.
I could just maelstrom right now.
You have seized a strategic
My opponent
area.
didn't really find any urgency to try and dodge them, if I were to be serious, so I would seriously consider doing that.
Taking new position.
And get a whole bunch of free damage out of it.
You have seized a strategic area.
We obey. Let the void claim them.
I wanted to hit it, but I want to commit to it, but I'm gonna have to wait till an engine critical hit of some kind.
All weapons fire at will.
Nope, that was not what I want, but
The void is our home. As the fates decree.
Taking new position.
that's a lot of hits there. And we can force these to turn around really quickly.
As the fates decree.
And this time, I got the convenience of just dodging.
Is our home.
Still rammed my own Hellbore, alas, but you can easily see the difference. Oh, I forgot my lock on, stupid me.
Ride the solar winds.
That was probably a mistake, burning a rally for that. I just didn't want to give it more critical hits, but it's still gonna die, isn't it? Ooh, I got the frigate as a bonus there.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Yes, Commander.
Not the most exciting there.
You have accumulated
Again, my opponent's not
25%
making good use of their
strategic points.
boosters. They're all head full to kind of
Swiftly.
evade these abilities the best.
Acknowledged. The void is our home.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Alright, have these shoot and start turning. Did I fire with everything? I'm trying to...
Until the end. Swiftly.
I am hitting, but that can easily be alleviated. I just gotta get rid of this frigate first.
Mend our wounds.
And ideally, kill off this one ship here.
We obey.
My Hellbore is about to get shot to hell, though, but it's basically free damage for my opponent too, since it's not really helping me with this ship's or this fleet's durability.
We serve.
Now, fighters are gone. Let's just hide. Nope. Nope. Generator's gone. We no need to fix that in a hurry.
Bone singers.
Oh, my opponent decided to upgrade to battleships. Maybe I should have been a little bit more aware of that.
Yes, Commander. Setting sail.
And this is an Oberon this time, huh? Interesting.
As the fates decree. We obey.
3 seconds and you can boost on out.
As the fates decree.
Keep in mind my torpedoes are going to be really damn good here.
Come about with grace. The void is our home.
They did get shot down a little bit because they are, after all, 2 battleships worth of point defense.
Come about with grace.
Yeah, not having generators really hurts.
Together.
It goes without saying, which is kind of why I'm liking the frigates so much.
Enemy in our sight.
And speaking of which, let's actually get them to join the fight.
We serve.
Yeah, I would love... My opponent's actually boosting for a change, which shows they're learning, maybe. But I think this Apocalypse is still in all sorts of trouble if I can hit with more torpedoes.
50% of strategic points.
Yes, Commander.
Swiftly.
Actually, let's just go directly behind them. It's going to be a little bit awkward with my movement, but
Taking new position.
it makes them relatively safe. Okay, take that back.
Yes, Commander.
I got a little bit too close to my liking.
We obey. We move together.
If I can hit with torpedoes, this easily makes up for it.
Setting sail.
Until the end.
Okay, maybe I got a little bit too close to comfort.
Swiftly.
Oh god. There's too many ships. Too many ships in one position is making it really difficult.
Fate's decree. Acknowledged.
I'm gonna have to pay close attention to my dang flagship here. My opponent's using what is it, diplomacy against me here.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Fortune turns sour. As the fates decree.
You have accumulated 75% of strategic points.
Taking new position.
The flagship is lost.
Yeah, I lost my flagship there,
Yes, Commander.
which is a bit of a morale hit.
Setting
But
sail.
hopefully that helps them a little bit. If only a little bit.
Commander.
Since if I just keep my distance, that helps a ton. But so far I'm just gonna win this due to the objective if I just hang back. And right now,
The void is our home. Until the end. We move together. We serve.
my opponent's learning. I feel accomplished this day, but who knows if it's gonna help them some. Since my opponent only has a single frigate. But again, I don't even need to engage my opponent, so I could just run away and just try and teach them, since it's already decided just by the objectives alone.
Let the winds
No, I'm not gonna let you hit me with Nova cannons, even though I'm trying to be nice to you.
our wounds. We serve.
There, you got repairs. I was wondering why you weren't salt running.
Ride the solar winds. We obey.
You are close to victory by strategic points.
We move together.
Enemy in our sight.
Swiftly.
Let the winds
Yep,
fill
another
our
30 seconds.
sails.
Maybe that's technically not true, I don't need my holofields to keep hitting, but I'm saying that more for Jukari, since my opponent may consider them one and the same. Ooh, what's this I'm seeing? I'm not getting any activity notification feed, I'm just seeing something about subscribed. I'm shocked. I don't know if that's what I think it means, but... Qualmanity. Thank you for that, I suppose. I'm gonna have to double check because again, my activity feed is saying absolutely nothing, so I'm only going with assumptions there. But otherwise, sure, that may not have been the most exciting since I was talking to my opponent. I hope you can forgive me on that because I want to really try and give him a good time or at least help him out. Since I've been burned quite heavily in Armada 1 and the lack of players for trying to play that for 2 years. My entire effort the past 3 months have been trying to alleviate that, or at least slow down that process, goddammit. I don't want to go back to that nightmare. Thank you kindly there, it's much appreciated. Hello there, Owl. But yeah, in all seriousness, I don't want to go back to those dark ages. But in all honesty, a lot of it was due to the fact that Tindalos kind of stopped patching Armada 1 shortly after when the tower introduced. They still had the Championship Series, mind you, which had an amazing resurgence of players, especially with the Steam Summer Sale. But that was like the last patch, and then it was just pretty quiet for almost a year and a half. To be fair, they were working on Armada 2, which I easily can forgive them for that with how much I've been enjoying this game, but still, I dread having to go back to those dark ages. But I think I'm done with Corsairs for now. I am wondering what I should play as next. I've been teasing Space Marines, and in all honesty, I've kind of been feeling the itch to play more Space Marines again. I'm just wondering, I should go back to the 5 strike cruiser fleet. Just aim for the possibility to just murder everything with torpedoes. You saw Adriani were bad with their 8 torpedoes. With the tighter arc that the Space Marines have, I can do a ridiculous amount of damage if I use it properly. It's just a bit weird. Huh, what? I have no idea what this bug is about players not being allowed to play online. If I were to be serious, since I haven't really encountered it myself, but with me doing YouTube videos rather, you can imagine how significant that would be for me to actually be able to play the game. Otherwise, this is my 5 strike cruiser fleet, plasma bomb and stasis bomb, with maybe disruption bomb depending what we're up against. I'm just gonna have a problem figuring out a second upgrade. Disruption overcharge probably, if I were to be serious. Since we talked about it already, why wouldn't you go with this upgrade at this point? It negates Tyranids from using their point defense once their shields are down. It counters supercharged void shields. It actually can be really good against Necrons, especially if they don't know how to disengage to let their health recharge, since this, in theory, should deny them the one biggest strength, which is their health regeneration. And just one hit with on the Eldari allows me to actually lightning strike them, which goes without saying how important it is for something that relies heavily on boarding. But let's give this a try. I hoped the discussion I had with my opponent helps a little bit. It's going to be rough, without a doubt. since I don't think they're going to be facing off against very many less experienced players. But I wish them luck nonetheless. I just couldn't tell you for the life of me what was causing that latency from before. Oh. Torpedoes versus torpedoes is the name of the game here. The good news is my ships are really small and narrow, so it's possible I can heavily alleviate a lot of the torpedo damage. The problem is their pulsars and the critical hit chance. My engines are likely going to get eradicated immediately, since I only have 200 shields to these ships. So I'm going to have to do a bit of a gambit. This flagship is taking point. I got to anticipate when they're going to fire on me, so I can activate this and negate all that pulsar fire. That is the plan, but it's going to be short-lived, especially if they have the disruption overcharge. And they have decent morale too, and I'd rather just board them if I can get close enough. I kind of need disruption overcharge anyway if I want to collect this assassin. I'm trying to figure out what would be a better priority though. It is without doubt the assassin or the shields, which assassin might be better. Since I do have the disruption overcharge now, and I only need to drop it down a little bit. It's when it's fully charged they're protected from lightning strikes. Again, I would love to just do broadside boarding at the same time too. Which is where the dilemma is at. Now actually I do want these in two separate groups. One behind the other. And somehow bait them into engaging the flagship. And I'm talking too much. Let's get this started. This is probably not going to go well just because how much more convenient my opponent's going to have here with how close I need to get.
Full speed.
I don't even know. Should I? I shouldn't even go for generators as it's with how close I need to get. If these are the cruisers, one engine critical hit will screw them over immensely.
Where shall we strike?
I kind of forgot my hunters a little bit, which I'm going to need to get moving.
A strategic area.
But they can fire torpedoes at very awkward angles. Oh, no wonder I'm messing up my control groups. I have four.
I am listening.
The enemy
I have
has
four
seized a
control groups,
strategic
not
area.
3.
You have seized a strategic area. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Give us purpose.
All power to engines!
Again, the plan is to make them shoot the flagship, although with their ship or fleet segment, that may not be as effective as I want it to be. And I don't have disruption overcharge either, which may have been a bit of a mistake.
We stand ready.
Engines engaged.
Okay, my opponent's doing me a favor
I'm
here.
listening.
Hold course.
Show us the enemy. Full speed.
Actually, can I make this a little bit awkward for him?
Moving to
I just
position.
gotta make sure I don't use all my combustion gauge for obvious
I am
reasons.
listening.
Because I'm gonna need it for
stand
evasive
ready.
maneuvers, especially when they get within 9,000 range.
Repositioning. Enemy in sight.
That was all
Where
but
shall we
flawless.
strike? Engines engaged. Successful teleport strike. Hold course. Give us purpose.
Now, did I seriously kill your generator? Why is that? Oh, disruption overcharge, stupid me.
Underway.
Successful teleport strike.
Engine's gone there. Keep hitting this.
Feel our might. That is impossible. All power to engines.
I should be trying to ram in all seriousness, but better safe than sorry. Ooh, boring torpedoes hit too.
At your command.
My combustion gauge burnt out. This is bad timing.
Critical damage. I am listening.
I burnt out all my combustion gauge, silly me.
Where shall we strike? That is impossible.
But so far it's looking really damn promising. I just gotta follow it up now.
Engines engaged. It will be destroyed.
Since I'm forfeiting my emergency repairs here some.
Holding successful. We stand ready. At your command. That is impossible. Underway.
I didn't quite get the hits I want, but I did dodge those one torpedoes at least.
That is impossible. Repositioning.
Engine's permanently gone there. Now we gotta focus on this next one.
Our rock cannot be denied. All power to engine.
Here, have a taste of your own medicine, you dick.
I am listening. Holding successful. To where we are needed. Show us the enemy.
Ooh, that was such flawless execution there if you saw what I just did there. I don't even think that was planned, but it played out beautifully. But we're not out of the woods yet.
25% of strategic points.
Okay. I'm speechless. Sure, my opponent messed up a tiny bit letting their hull field drop down for that one ship. But I expect... Like I said, I'm speechless. Yeah, it is a less skilled opponent, it goes without saying, because they seriously didn't even need the Wraithbone probe. They didn't even have Maelstrom, so I shouldn't get too excited, but damn, did that feel like a stomp. That felt brutal. But I was happy with that one maneuver. Ramming the ship into my second cruiser's torpedoes is what happened there. I may have missed a little bit with the first torpedo salvo, but that was easily alleviated with the second salvo. And sadly, I did not even use my Kulex's assassin. I don't think I did anyway. Outside the very beginning, that would be the exception when I caught them with their hull field being damaged. Should I quit while I'm ahead with Space Marines? I feel like I'm not gonna get I feel like lightning's not gonna strike twice against the Agiani like that. But damn. I'm just gonna give it a moment, at least so that way maybe we can get a different matchup. Because I'm sure my opponent might be a little bit shaken there too. With how brutal it felt like, at least. But yeah, Supercharged Void Shield did the one thing I want for it. Completely negate the damage, protected me from an untimely engine critical hit. And then I followed up nicely. I just gotta be very careful about my combustion gauge, since that ultimately was what killed my flagship, not being able to high energy turn when I wanted to. But let's go with the battle barge, something a little more brute force-ish, or something with a little more muscle. It's going to be a little bit harder if we're facing the same opponent though. No, but it is the Bisco fella again with the 2 Grand Cruisers, Battleship, and 2 Overlords, I think. So at least this time they're going to have a proper fight. It ultimately comes down to how effective I am with my dumbfire torpedoes and focusing them on something I'm not boarding. That's going to probably be the true trick with Space Marines. Making sure my damage weapons are hitting at the ship I actually want to kill, and my boarding is on something that I actually want to kill the crew of, and not have them hit the same target, because otherwise that's a little bit of wasted firepower. Now, I don't really need to separate these Novas so much, since any frigates we have to deal with, they can easily take on one-on-one with their armor. Actually, I don't know why I want the battleship to grab that. These guys can grab the right point. Yeah, it is absurdly large blast radius. It can be misleading, but the main reason you have, or the main benefit of the bombardment can is the critical hit chance. it's supposed to be the main reason with the bombardment cannons, since after all, your macro damage in general is just so bad with the strike cruisers and even the vanguards. Good luck trying to kill shields just with your vanguards. Unless you have like 6 of them, which used to be a foul fleet. But yeah, I can understand the argument there for their visuals being a little more dramatic. But damn, are they good when they take the shields down? Which I need a disruption bomb, it goes without saying, because otherwise it's gonna take an eternity. And disruption overcharge is kind of overpowered for Space Marines too, since I only have to take their shields down once and they're never coming back up. So I'm really hoping that gets fixed in, or at least gets clarified, I suppose is what I'm saying, for the next patch when their campaign's ready.
Underway.
It's a little absurd, and I feel bad using it every time for at least a fleet that doesn't really benefit off it, like my Space Marines. I kind of want to turn off their high energy turn, because I am going to be relying a lot on torpedoes after all, and they're good at ramming with the spurs, especially with the retribution any overlords they might have.
Show us the enemy.
And there's no point trying to reveal them because there's so many gas clouds. So I can't set up for long-range boarding torpedoes. Not the best I would like. I might as well try anyway. Well, we know where the retribution is.
Where shall we strike?
I should be okay there. I just don't have frigates to conveniently start shooting down those mid-torpedoes, since they're over here.
Hold course.
But I don't even think I need the frigates so much for this upcoming engagement. It's size for vision,
The enemy has seized a
which, if I play my
area.
cards right, I should have secured this gas cloud.
To where we are needed.
Are my fighters going to shoot any of them down? Well, they were shooting at them. They just didn't shoot any of them down.
Underway.
And micro warp jump's kind of unneeded unless I'm really worried about my positioning.
Where shall we strike?
Now the big question, do I leave that there to try and shoot down point defense or recall it for boarding torpedoes? I wait until it gets out of the gas cloud first, because then he has nothing to hide in.
We stand ready.
I was kind of hoping to shoot those down, but
Enemy in sight.
Hold course.
okay, you reveal my ships. Let's see how this plays out. I should have left the fighters there in
Engines
retrospect.
engaged.
They would have lasted long enough.
Full speed. At your command. I am listening. Repositioning.
I gotta keep in mind.
Halt advance.
Let's see, Lance is there. Okay, that's fine.
Show us the enemy.
You have seized a strategic area.
Did shoot down all the boring though,
To where we are needed.
and I can easily dodge that.
Hold course.
I just wish you don't ram each other, please.
Halt advance.
There was an opportunity for me to do lightning strikes, alas, but I screwed it up a tiny bit.
At your command. New vector acknowledged.
I have A3 armor, I'm not too worried here.
Moving to position.
It's just the torpedoes that might be a
You
bit of
have
a burden.
seized a strategic area.
In fact, I want to ram you
Where shall
to
we
an
strike?
extent.
At your command. Prepare for impact. Repositioning. Give us purpose. Underway.
I have 200 shields, so that's not a big deal
Give us
there.
purpose.
Now,
I am listening.
can I lightning strike this? Oh, I can lightning strike it, I just gotta get really close.
Underway. Halt advance.
And that will easily kill off the crude air. How's my frigates
Airport
doing?
attack successful.
They're doing well so far. I don't realistically expect them to kill off the
Moving to position.
ship.
Halt advance.
But we have a...
Enemy in sight.
Oh, we have an Oberon here. You're a prime target to
Where
murder.
shall we strike?
Strike quickly, brothers.
Wasn't paying attention to that very much, but that crew is all but dead here.
At your command. All servitors and tech marines begin repairs. Our wrath cannot be denied.
Show us the
And
enemy.
you could just conveniently hide in the gas cloud really well.
Engines engaged.
I want to go for killing blow damage.
Shall we strike?
Full speed.
Oh, did I boost too much?
Where shall we strike?
And that was nuts. Oh my god, I take that back.
Advance.
That was as effective as I thought it would be.
Moving to position.
Give us purpose. All power to engines.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
I'm probably playing with my food a little bit here, but how long until my torpedoes are back up? I just want to kill this flagship
Where we are
now.
needed. We stand ready.
You sadly have no combustion gauge, but losing my shields isn't really a big deal.
Engines engaged.
So moral of the story, do not let that get its fleet ships boarded.
To where we are
A
needed.
little bit of damage, but that's no big loss.
I am
In
listening.
fact, I know what I want to do. My opponent has
Give us purpose.
false sense of security right now.
At your command.
I just gotta hide my ships now. Since a good portion of their fleet's gone after all.
We stand ready. Hold course. Repositioning.
I should have got closer, but that's gonna take a ridiculous amount of boring damage anyway.
Redirecting.
Enemy in sight.
And if you don't want to get killed, your fleet...
I am
Oh,
listening.
well, I'm doing a bad job controlling my fleet, I suppose.
Underway.
Actually, I could go
Give
after
us
you.
purpose.
You're trying to be sneaky? By all means, try and be sneaky.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic
See
points.
how little I care. Once I kill your shields off.
Boarding successful.
Hell, I don't even need to do that. Although I used up all my combustion gauge.
Underway.
There, that easily kills off the crew there. There's still, what, one more Novacan shot to be fearful of?
Hold course.
And you don't have high energy turns, so... I
Where
think
shall
one
we
of my
strike?
torpedoes are going to hit my own ships, alright?
Engines engaged.
Rearm.
To where we are needed.
Nope, I'm getting amazing boarding hits here.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Again, I don't think I
area.
even need to go after... Actually, let me kill your deck. That just primes you.
Moving
What's
to
warping
position.
out? You have torpedoes, keep that in mind.
Show us the enemy.
And I want you to leave, because you can easily get reactivated if I do this wrong.
Where shall we strike? Engines engaged.
Oh, you can't use torpedoes anymore because of your cold arms, so I'm not worried.
Give us purpose.
Tyrant's gone. It just burnt to death.
Boarding successful.
I just gotta protect my ships now. And ideally use my dumbfire torpedoes on this last one.
Boarding caused critical damage.
Hold course.
I'm about to get more boarding on this in a moment, so... like I said,
Our wrath cannot be denied.
my priority should be focus on the crew
Underway.
of one ship and then damage on the other one, so that way I'm getting most value out of my charges. Although, it feels like I should be trying to kill this thing. I'm sure you can understand my sentiment there a tiny bit.
We stand ready.
The enemy has accumulated 25%
And ramming the spurs is a terrible idea because that's the only way to actually benefit from the spur damage, is if I let them hit the... Oh, they don't have spurs.
Repositioning.
Too damn close, sadly.
Where shall we strike?
I just
You
barely
have
missed
seized a
out
strategic
on that.
area.
But now, guess who's gonna come play in a
I'm
moment?
listening.
It may be dead, but The torpedoes strike true.
They died well.
The Angels of Vengeance definitely struck.
Boarding caused critical damage.
Sadly, my battle barge is going to be left wanting, but it's here to contribute.
Where shall we strike?
And I have a phenomenal lead.
Engines engaged.
You have accumulated.
But I might as well lob a few boring
75%
torpedoes just because they're going to be so much more accurate. Ow.
Moving to position.
What? Was that another glitch?
We stand ready.
I'm almost certain I didn't see an AoE on the ground for that
At your command.
explosion. I could be wrong there since I wasn't really focusing on it.
At your command.
Actually, why boarding torpedo when I could just dumbfire torpedo? The whole point of the boarding torpedoes is because they were easier to hit and help support this kind of maneuver. There we go.
Give us purpose.
Oh, you survived, or are you another frigate?
Underway.
You're probably another frigate I didn't notice. Yeah, I've been noticing that every now and then that it sometimes doesn't show when they're scuttling their ship. It's a little bit infuriating. Especially for something that's so damn fragile like the Eldari or even Tyranids, if I have like my frigates near there. But that was fun. I kind of do miss playing with Space Marines, especially torpedo-heavy Space Marines. Because good god, having no spread on those torpedoes means if I can aim properly enough, I can even shoot them on their prow and do full damage, like kind of what we saw there with my dying strike cruiser's last breath. Just to completely destroy like 300 health. Sure, it still was hitting, it was still hitting 83 armor, but with armor piercing, it's still significant damage. Now, someone mentioned orcs there. Although, I don't know if I care about the evil sons there. I just simply put have more fun with the sneaky gits. The blood axes at least. And since it's been so long since I played it, I do question if I want 2 rocks. Which fleet has the best close range macro strat? Maybe Imperial Navy. Since they have a lot of macro damage, they're encouraged to ram because of their spurs and 83 armor, and torpedoes synergize so well if you can get in close too. So as far as close range strategy, Imperial Navy is damn good. I would even say there's an argument for Azuriani, since they have their Blessing of Fall makes their armor piercings las cannons so damn potent. It's dangerous, but if you can pull it off, then it can do a good amount of damage for you. Especially since their hull field technically has them at like, you can almost treat them as having 83 armor if you're not being rammed or hit by torpedoes. So they are damn resilient. So I think there could be an argument there for las cannons. It's just that pulsars are so damn impactful and a little more safer, especially since you don't have to rely on the short range of Blessing of All. Hey there, Kitty, welcome to the stream. Kitty was the one player who I did that Dauntless stream with way back when, last year. She's a friend of mine. I know you. Just don't judge my play too much there, Kitty. I know you're playing on it, even though you have no idea what's going on. Actually, I am tempted to go back into the Lance-centric or torpedo Lance type fleet. Lances are so underutilized a little bit, mainly because the tractor cannon and mega cannons have so much impact. It goes without saying. And I think I'm pretty certain the tractor cannon bug actually works now. Well, it's multiplayer, Kitty. Of course I'm being a people. You just missed out when I was playing as the elves, for crying out loud. But that's an argument for outside of stream that no one's interested in hearing. But already, Kitty's on the stream and already yelling at me. Go figure. But how do I want to fine-tune this fleet at all? Because after all, there isn't really a lot of mega cannons compared to what we normally see, which is what, 5 battleships or a ridiculous number of bashas? Can I honestly do better? I don't honestly have the points to even get 2 regular light cruisers. That would be the only argument for why I would take one of these out. So maybe there isn't. But let's see what we're up against here. I'm trying to remember what my upgrades were. Stasis bomb maybe, and then tractor cannon, assuming this is actually working properly now. And upgrades are pretty self-explanatory. It's good being green again. Especially with a nice fancy captain's hat, How can you say no to those hats? He looks like a proper commissar. I'm trying to remember. Apparently I made it to rank 2 of Orks, so clearly I'm a bad player with them. Clearly. They got possibly the most simplistic strategy in the game with their mega cannons, and I'm apparently bad with them. Otherwise... Ooh! Mechanicus. I have the hit points to easily deal with their Nova cannons. Outside the morale damage, that's gonna stink. Yep, clearly the hat is what makes the faction, right? Especially the blood axes. Although, I do gotta keep in mind they have that emergency repair that recharges their boosters to try and run away from me. So, ideally, realistically, I want to be on top of them without having to use my big red button, because otherwise I'm gonna have a really difficult time chasing them. Outside of the tractor cannon. Again, I'm assuming this is no longer bugged. And actually, I'm just going to leave a frigate on this point. There's no reason for me to give away where my cruisers are. Now, otherwise... The firepower, I will admit, is kind of lacking since I only have 5 mega cannons as opposed to 10 mega cannons that all the other Orc players have. I will not lie. But hey, that only really matters in mirror matches if I were to be serious. And then I'm gonna have to get a bit creative, but for all the other factions, these mega cannons are still ridiculously dangerous, if used properly. Now, let me just hold fire with everything, because why the hell not? Because I'm underestimating the range that my guns actually have. They could give away my position with 18,000 range, for crying out loud.
You got it, boss.
Now, let's have some fun. And the most important thing to remember is my rocks actually go faster than all my other ships in the fleet. So they're gonna get the objective really damn quickly. I just don't want to reveal them because they're gonna get... Well, who am I kidding? These things are also the best equipped to dodge the Nova cannons too, surprisingly. I just don't want to boost because it's gonna reveal me.
Wings ready.
So we're just gonna play a bit of a patient game.
Retro's on.
Let the rocks take the majority of the flak. They're expendable, so long as I can get in close.
A strategic area.
You got it.
Since honestly, with this at least 1 or 2 frigates being around, I don't want my fleet getting revealed by a scanner pulse anyway.
Retro's on.
So I don't want to be predictable since I'm not boosting. You can a keen-eye opponent can kind of guess how far I travel towards the middle of the map, making it a lot more easier for them to get those scanner pulses they want.
Orks, orks, orks.
It just goes without saying, I want to make sure the rock's death is not in vain if it's eventually going to get bombarded by cannons.
You got it.
And ideally, do not fly into the asteroid belts.
Retro's on.
And you're all in the gas cloud, that's fine by me. And again, the same rule applies with all Nova cannons. I gotta listen intently or even watch like a hawk those Nova cannon shots, since if my rock can even dodge a handful of those, I don't need to tell you how invaluable that might be.
Move that junk.
So long as... I don't think I care about the Eye of the Omni sign so much, it's more of the actual damaged ones, rather than slow. And I don't think I'm going to get that objective to my liking.
Retro's on.
You have seized
Okay.
a strategic area.
Faster, you grunts.
I'll bite. I'll just grab the objective there. And there's one frigate left. I'm trying to figure out what's not in a control group. Oh, my rocks aren't in a control group. That explains that.
The fight is over here.
Oh, and you guys are slacking off too much. Get moving.
Enemy ship sight. You want us over there?
I am in close range, and actually boarding damage can be really good if I prioritize my targets properly. Especially with heavy guns.
Orks, orks, orks. Full speed.
Alright, just boost on out. Remember I have boring torpedoes as lackluster damage they might have.
Retro's on. Move that junk.
And try and get my ships in close because I have another rock. In fact, the ramming damage is going to be pretty good too. I don't know why I'm called arms, but considering how bad their boarding damage is, but they're not going to be shooting me for a bit with how they're turning. Okay. Time to start letting our voice be heard. Time to have some fun. If only I could have boarded that. That would have been amazing if I saw that ahead of time. Jeez, I feel like their fleet's already a mess and my cruisers aren't even in the fight just yet. Engine gone on this one. I am letting my armor take a lot of damage there, so we gotta give him something to worry about. What did I board so far? Have ourselves some fun with the battleship. And reload for good measure. You, the flagship, can go after something else. Oh, did I really burn retros with you? I thought I was just giving you a regular attack order. Well, that flagship's all sorts of screwed. I haven't even used my boosters on everything. Just gotta keep my eye. I am leaving myself vulnerable for the flagship to get murdered. So I could be getting a bit careless. Oh yeah, I have tracked cannons too. You're mutinied, you're gone. I have 3 savages left, but they're doing damage nicely enough. Now, can they do some good ramming? 1. Only 1 ram, alas. Now I gotta get the rest of my fleet in here. I fear I may be playing with my food a bit.
You got it, boss. Yeah. Hold on to something.
The flagship is definitely gonna be feeling this.
You got it, boss.
Now let me finish these off. I have horrible accuracy, but 1 good hit's all I need. We're down to 1 savage. You're dead. Mutiny on that one. It can. And tractor can for good measure. Come say hi. Yeesh, that was a very potent tractor can. I won't lie. There, more boring, more cans. This is over. It got a little bit messier once my actual fleet got in the fight, but I feel like my 2 rocks and savages were already making a mess of their fleet. It feels like it. Oh, I forgot a savage. Oh, was that the one I was... That was the one that was grabbing the objective, wasn't it? Which is probably why I forgot it. But that was still fun. Rely more on sneaky strategies and less on just sheer brute force with mega cannons where they can see us coming from a mile away. So there. Now, I might do another one anyway, but I'm kind of tempted to go with torpedoes. Something a little more harder to utilize, but do I really want to go with the sneaky Ludas? Allow my boring torpedoes to technically be additional damage torpedoes as well? If I learn anything from my Space Marine match, I kind of don't really care for doing damage on something I'm boarding heavily, if I were to be serious. But I don't think I care about the Goth Hardboys either, since that would rely... I kind of need to use the WOG skill if I'm going to benefit from additional troop boarding damage. So what on earth would be a good faction to use with torpedoes and lances? I honestly can't think of any, so I guess the world is my oyster. We'll focus exclusively on the lances. If I'm fighting Eldari, it's clearly the Super Saps and the Shocking Saps. And this will likely be a lot more difficult. Unless I want to go stealthy again, that's not out of the question, since I have no reason to be Death Skulls if I'm going to forfeit that upgrade. It's not a ridiculous idea now that I think of it. More stealthy fun, more Imperial Navy hats for fun. I don't even need to use that upgrade, the Commando upgrade, especially if I feel like I might need to rely on lances. Since at least Orks have upgrades that actually work with heavy lance type fleets, my Eldari, with their dependence on pulsars, don't really get that convenience, sadly. There's absolutely no upgrade aside for enhancing the range of the flagship, aka the Voidstalker. Is it where it's really actually an upgrade that enhances that? EPS, there's no heresy here. I'm just a... I wish I could say this with a proper Orc accent. I am just a loyal... Imperium boy. Yeah, I do a bad Orc impersonation, clearly. Especially since I'm worried about straining my throat that much more. Oh, speaking of the devil, we are facing Eldari. Agiani at that, so... Torpedoes versus torpedoes. And my saps can be useful to chase them down. It goes without saying. But now this is the tough predicament. Do I get the Super Sappas or do I try and go with stealth? Try and deny them the one little benefit they have. Since normally Agiani do not have any frigates to kind of spot me or scout, so there is some real value to having this, but at the same time I do want to get close to them. It's going to be really damn difficult to hit them with torpedoes of all things, so I'm going to be relying a lot on boarding damage. How do I want to play this? I honestly could not tell you. Shock Mega Attack's not a terrible idea, since again I'm relying on boarding. That's going to be the final verdict. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Let me get my formation all set up. And where are they like? I think we want to go over this way, since there's a nice direct route to the middle point, which my opponent will see me coming anyway. Actually, let me put you three in the back, since my flagship is kind of important. It goes without saying for his fleet. Actually, lock-on's useful for the guns and the critical hit chance of the zaps, even though they're not really Corsairs. So group 3, group 4, and I think I'm going to have you grab this objective, and then rocks are going to serve as adequate bait. If I could somehow dodge torpedoes, that would be amazing. Oh, let me... Now, verdict. Super Sappas to bypass the hull fields. I probably do in all seriousness, even though I'm likely going to win this match by boarding damage and not so much actual killing them. Not actually killing them.
You got it, boss.
And Rock, I forgot to put you in a group. And am I looking at that properly? Is that actually just 4 ships? So, I may have dodged a bullet here because the torpedoes and pulsars are so much more scarier than a carrier ship. Especially with this tight formation that I have. It's still a lot of point defense they're going to have to go through.
Faster, you grots.
And I'm assuming this flagship is a Phoenix, yeah.
Here we go.
So, I'm going to have to play this a lot more differently
The
than
enemy has
how I was
seized the
expecting.
strategic area.
But without a doubt, getting close to them and hitting them with torpedoes and boarding them is still the right way to go. And I don't really care so much about
You got it.
being revealed, but... I don't think my opponent knows how the fighters work, since they're only there for 9 seconds and then they just retract. Come to think of it, I don't even have any
The enemy
fighters
has
at all.
seized a strategic area.
That could be a bit of a problem.
The fight is over here.
Actually, Rocks, just dodge. Make them think you're just floating debris. Passing in the night.
Move that.
In the
junk.
void of space, no less. They're not going to suspect a thing, right?
You have seized a strategic area.
They're not going to notice the hundreds upon hundreds of guns and DACA strapped onto this asteroid belt, huh? Or asteroid.
Faster, you grots.
Hell, you know what's best? We got debris here. We could just camouflage
You
ourselves.
got it, boss.
Blend in with the terrain, as it were.
Orks is best.
You have seized a strategic
I just gotta
area.
keep in mind that they are in the gas clouds, so... As much as I want the Rocks to take the shots, probably not really need it.
You want us over
And
there?
actually, I think I want you to just hide in the gas cloud, since apparently my opponent's gonna go for the objective.
Wings ready. Wings ready. Move that junk.
Okay, I know how to deal with
The
this.
enemy has seized a
I
strategic
probably shouldn't have done a
area.
big red button, because that's still keeping me revealed,
What
but...
you want? Orks, orks, orks.
That may have been a bit of a mistake, because now I'm in visual of the fighters. I want to lose vision, so that way the bombers could do nothing.
Time to stop him.
But it's doing the one thing I want of it. I just may have executed that really damn poorly.
You got it, boss.
Oh god, oh god.
You want us over
I
there?
may have made a terrible decision.
Enemy ship sighted.
Oh, I probably should have saved that. Because after all, that's a great way to negate to supercharge their Wraithbone shift.
The fight is over here. Wings ready.
I want to board you. Get closer so I can board
You
you.
have seized a strategic area.
You're not gonna let me board you, are you, you jerk? Fine, be that way.
You want us over there?
Let me board you instead. I forgot I have torpedoes. Which is gonna be tricky to utilize here.
Let's show 'em.
If I'm not using the torpedoes, then I'm not using my fleet properly.
Move that junk. Hit the red button.
Hitting the button indeed.
Here we go. Yeah. More Dakar.
More ramming. Your deck's gone. I gotta keep that in mind.
Move that junk.
Now, Rock,
Fight is over here.
you get your morale back up. Gotta keep in mind I am taking a lot of damage here right now. So torpedoes are pretty damn important. Especially since I have its... my ships aren't firing on their prow either, which is a bit of a mistake.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
What you want?
Can I get some good boarding damage here? Well, my opponent's trying to steal objectives from me. And you're sadly still alive, which I do not take kindly to.
Orks, orks, orks.
Well, that was my of my opponent there. He's giving us a show.
You have
It is
accumulated
quite literally a
25%
fatal
of
show.
strategic points.
Enemy ship sighted.
I am not even going to try to rationalize what the hell just happened there. But your crew is all sorts of screwed. Let's continue the boarding since you're making it easy for me. And I still have rocks.
Orks, orks.
So rocks are going to do what rocks are meant to do.
Ready.
Although, this thing is dead and its crew's almost gone. So I got very little value out of my boarding, I feel like.
We got 'em.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Our escort went boom.
Yes, chase after it. Chase after it and murder it. And ram it, ideally.
Here we go.
I feel like if this was pulsars and torpedoes, I'd probably be dead by now. I am not using this fleet properly there.
You got it,
Oh,
boss.
that was a bad rally. But I am hitting it with saps. Bombers are annoying, but I could still hit this thing. Just not tractor cannon at the best.
Let boys get to work, you lazy kids.
Oh, now I know why I had brace for impact. It's to try and help deal with these bombers, which
That junk.
they are eventually going to run out of steam.
Enemy ship sighted.
Can I at least board them some? That would be the dream.
You got it, boss. Wings ready.
Because I'm relying heavily on the saps.
Faster, you grunts.
Otherwise. And I want to wait until a booster. Actually, I need to watch this thing for a rate bone shift in all seriousness, so that way I can counteract it.
That one was for the grunts anyhow.
Damn it, I did that too slow. That was why I wanted to wait for a tractor cannon.
Faster, you grunts.
There's some juicy ram damage, but now I need an opportunity to hit him with torpedoes.
Here we go.
You have accumulated 50%
And I do have the engines prioritized,
strategic
yep.
points.
So you were all but dead.
Teleport strike work, boss. Orks is best.
Can we actually kill off these boarding ships, though, finally?
Teleport strike work, boss.
That may have been a bad boarding shot.
The fight is over here.
Oh, actually, I take that back. I hit with 3 of them, at
The enemy
least.
has accumulated 50% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic area.
Now let's board this thing to death. Well, I thought I had more boarding options, so this was not nearly as effective as it could have been.
That's not supposed to burn. Fix it.
In my mind, that was a lot more dangerous. I figured I had enough boarding damage to kill off, but no. I could have done more boarding.
You want us over there?
Otherwise, let's finish this off. And I gotta keep in mind, I do have really dangerous close broadside weaponry. It just goes without saying how difficult that would be. There you go, that should kill off the rest of your crew. Well, not quite true, because now my boarding's online. But just to seal the deal. Now your ship is dead. Oh.
The fight is over here.
Are you in the gas cloud and I wasn't paying attention, or did you actually get destroyed? Again,
Boarding is what Orks do best.
I feel like I dodged the bolt there, not having to deal with the torpedo fleet. Since I feel like I probably should have died easily there. Since I did split up my fleet. But if I was a little more aware of the fact I had torpedoes and using them properly, that would probably not be a concern. Maybe. Because I don't feel like I got a lot of value from the shocking saps. It almost feels like it. Oh well. What to try us next? I'm nearly breaking about 2 hours and I'm going to be leaving in about an hour and a half. An hour's time almost. So I'll take any suggestions if there's any factions I haven't jumped in a while. I might be interested to go back into my Drukari fleet. Have some fun with them with their Shadowfield stealth shenanigans. But in all honesty, despite my better judgment, I do want to play with the Shroud fleet again. It's just not likely to win. At least it relies heavily on the grabbing objectives, which I don't think fares it very much anymore. If I were to be honest. Do we have any suggestions? I'm just waiting in the chat. If any of you actually care what faction I play as, that is. Otherwise, let me just think on how I would properly play this fleet. Lightning Link, it goes without saying, is amazing. I just have 2 charges of it. Transdimensional bolt's only really useful in close range. I don't even think Resurrection Orb is all that useful, since it has a really long cooldown and my ships can just regenerate their crew. Of course, I do need to be in my, what stance is it called? The Brace for Impact stance to kind of regenerate my hull for me to recover said troops, but still it's there nonetheless. Alright, we want Necrons, so what I'll do is Scarab Swarm and Lightning Link. Keep my deck alive because I like my Salt running. And Structural Analyzer for higher critical hit chance with my frigates. Anything but Orks. Jeez, Kitty. Aren't you such a naysayer of Orks? Everyone get her. Such a naysayer of Orks. I was waiting for you to say for me to take the elf factions, but oh well. Oh, the Mechanicus player again. This could still suck for me because I don't have an easy way to dodge Novacans this time. As odd as it may sound, I have the best mobility to potentially dodge them. But I don't have that convenient means unless I get right in their face. How the hell do I do this? I definitely want Scarab Swarm to help regenerate my health, it goes without saying. This is... Try to kill 2 ships at once. I still have really good boarding potential, especially with their weak crew complement. So it is possible just to literally do that, kill 2 ships at once by... It's really greedy to try and go for max damage on the Lightning Link. Realistically, I should be trying to just kill their ships as effectively as possible. To just start killing off their firepower in general. And I gotta remember, these damn stances are weird again. For crying out loud, my lock-on, my Dispersed Lightning Arc is no longer on the T key. So, I don't know if Dispersed Lightning Arc otherwise may give me the punch I need, unless I can be really confident I'm not gonna get Novacan to death. Actually, let me just simplify the fleet. Grab the objectives. Oh. I think I just dodged another bullet, did I? Or is my opponent just not salt running with their ships? I almost want to prioritize the weapons, because at least that way it's likely to turn off their supercharged, their Novacans. Okay, we have 5 ships here and 3 frigates. Interesting, they're not salt running with the frigates. Yeah, 2 custodians is always nice. It's the question of can you follow it up though for it to really matter.
Seized a strategic area.
Because the Lightning Link will only kill any like light cruisers and some cruisers if you can get the link for the full damage. At least on its own. And I have to remember I have Doom Scythes. How to best use them when they're in such a tight formation though.
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, my opponent's now salt running. And I kind of wish I didn't have my flagship kind of out in the front to take shots. So I think I should correct that. Yeah, 2/3 hit points really nice. But until it's dead, it's still hitting you as hard as any other ship, especially with secret missiles and bombers. So you definitely need to have your second phase on killing it ready.
Ready to serve.
Well, the frigates are going to be nowhere nearby. So I can conveniently just grab more objectives and just play this game.
A strategic area.
I got marked, damn it.
Initializing motive.
Especially since my opponent burned all their scanner pulses, so I need to separate this ship just so I don't get hit by collateral Novacan shots.
Serve your glory.
But we'll take our time here. I'm just going to plan on murdering these frigates in a moment.
Spear.
Actually, I think that's my plan. Just murder these frigates. I disperse lightning arc for us, I think.
Inevitable.
I'm going to have to do this impeccably if I want to kill them all effectively.
Yes, my liege. Ready to serve. As you
Am I in range? I think I'm in range of everything.
your command. Relocating.
Now I gotta keep in mind this is gonna hurt.
Ready to serve.
Oh, I'm definitely dodging a bullet, it goes without saying. That should have been a lot more dangerous than having all the Novacans go at one spot.
Strategic area.
Yes, my liege. I serve your glory.
So you absorb your damage, regenerate your health.
Vessel sighted.
I gotta kill these frigates now. I don't really want to board them anymore since they're so close to dying.
Drop void anchors.
There.
As you command. Ready to serve.
Now, initiate, get the hell out of here.
Reassembling coherence.
Since I can't really take on that much damage, especially with Novacans. But I'm getting hit by invisible lances too.
I am the dynasty spear. Moving. What is your command? I serve your glory.
Come, I thought your inertialist drive was up.
Initializing
You
motive.
still thankfully make it out, good god. Now, see, does the Novacan bug hit me or not? Okay, I was not hit by the residual effect of the Novacans. Nobody panic.
Inevitable.
So they are effectively blinded. How do we best take advantage of that? Let me first up regenerate my ships.
Energy to recoalescence.
I do not want permanent component destruction, ideally.
Ready to serve.
Actually, let me recall my fighters too, since I'm already kind of giving away my position. And I only have 2 charges of these shrouds, so
The
To-
enemy has seized a strategic
include.
area.
but I'm gonna have 3 points. I already got a lead.
On the march.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Motive units fully engaged.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic
Dang,
area.
Doom Scythe's kind of giving away my position.
Drop void anchors.
I don't want to use Scarab Swarm, even though I would love to regenerate the health on this cursed thing. Because yeah, it no longer regenerates 1 health a second, which is a bit of a burden.
Power. What is your
And you lost half your weaponry there, which should regenerate in a minute. But still, half your weaponry already.
yes, my liege?
Now, ideally, I want to get right behind this fleet. Oh, and there's no battleship, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because they have high energy turn. Really good high. Yeah, what I mean is really a good high energy turn, so they can turn around quite effectively.
Moving.
I don't want to give away my position just yet. Oh, I gotta remember. I also have Shroud, so I get to keep my stealth even though I change stances.
Inevitable.
Let's get ready to punch the hell out of this thing.
I serve your glory.
My opponent's boosting, but I'm gonna make them regret this decision.
Void anchors.
I'm gonna try anyway. I just gotta position my ships properly, since I will still be taking damage from their ships here.
Drop void anchors.
How may I serve?
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Do I board you though? Probably not. But I did lose my deck. Oh, I saw I turned on my dang Scarab Swarm. Not that it really matters, I suppose, but I still have inertialess drive. Don't do this. You got so much power at the palm of your hands and you're squandering it. I should be dead by all accounts just because of these Nova Cannons.
Drop void anchors.
How may I serve?
Deck's completely gone there, but thankfully it's not a big deal outside the morale.
Moving.
And all my fighters have basically got shot down. Oh no, I just didn't launch them all.
As you command.
Most of them got shot down is what I'm trying to say.
Reassembling coherence.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points. You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Let's see, that objective's being grabbed. So, I hate the idea of the fact that I'm only winning this match because my opponent's not getting using their Nova Cannons the best. Since by all accounts I should be dead, or at least lose a couple of those ships already.
Relocating.
You have seized a strategic area.
Now what I want to do is kind of boost directly behind them.
Inevitable.
Since I did just get revealed after all.
How may I serve? As you command. Ready to serve.
Those are Eye of the Omni signs, let's keep that in mind. So, my opponent no longer has means to do damage anymore. And to be honest, I haven't really been doing a good job using my structural analyzer either.
The enemy has
But
seized a
being aware of those
strategic
Nova Cannons
area.
takes precedence. And like I said, these are no longer the regular shots. It's just going to be a bit awkward since I'm going to get slowed.
You have seized a strategic area.
They are doomed.
Now, I am at risk of getting rammed to death here.
Energy to recoalescence.
And yeah, my opponent has nothing but lance weaponry, which will actually be pretty good against me here.
Serve your glory.
Now, do I switch to reload or not? I guess I'm committed to it anyway. Now, I need to regenerate my ships. And I'm about to have my jump available so I can get in their face too. And get the best of both worlds. No, I do not want to recall. Now get everything in here nice and close. And remember, that was not my
The
scanner
enemy has
pulse.
accumulated
Damn, I hate the
50%
inconsistency with the
points.
hotkeys with Necrons.
Drop void anchors.
And I completely forgot about you.
Mode
So let's fix that.
Inevitable.
Just murder everything.
Ready to serve.
Murder it in style.
I am the dynasty.
Now, what do I board? Well, clearly board you.
As you command.
Ow, that wasn't very nice.
What is your command? There will be
Okay, but I think we're good now.
I serve your glory. Time locked.
reassembling coherence.
Regenerate the components and finish this off, I guess. Because my flagship has plenty of health still. I would take that back. It's almost dead. Who am I kidding? And its deck's currently gone, even after my regeneration, so I can't use another Scarab Swarm yet.
Of strategic points.
I still feel like that was not a good performance for his fleet, despite it being a victory. Like I said, 200 damage for every one of those Nova cans that, if my opponent waited for me to jump, would have been a death sentence. So I win because my opponent didn't utilize their cans properly, is what I would argue. But otherwise, I think I'll do one more match, and then that calls a wrap. So what better way to end it off? Let's not do Pyre Acid. Do I want to go back into Boarding Fleet though? Or do we want to do something ridiculous and just... Is this the one with the claws? Excuse me. Yes, this is the one with massive claws. Do I really need this many light cruisers with how easily they can get their claws destroyed though? The claw damage is still pretty nice. I won't lie. But there's some real boring potential here, and how many, I could still get more frigates too without it goes without saying. I'm just missing 3 points. Never mind that. Actually, I could easily rectify that, but still a question. 2 Void Prowlers, or... I think I'll stick with the Void Prowlers just to get a feel for them, since there's light cruisers in general are so underutilized. And I'm going for damage, so I'm going to have to see the layout of the field before I consider Spore Field, but maybe Wrecking Ball, since they did do changes to the skill now, way back when. And we'll see if we can end this off with a bang. And I'm really reluctant to use this because of how easy my shields can get negated. And Synaptic Relay doesn't matter anymore, I gotta remember that. Accelerate the recovery of light critical hits, I'll take that. We'll start with that and we'll see what we're up against. I gotta pay close attention if my rushes are silent or not though. That might heavily impact how I play this match. Although I still never got around to that one match to see if the rushes were actually silent. Oh god. The final match of the day, and now you decide to give me a mirror match? You want to know the what is kind of odd, funny, rather, is that if I use these Massive Claws properly, I think I kill them faster than they can kill me with their Pyre Acids. Assuming this is a Pyre Acid fleet. That's assuming I can do this properly. It's a big if. But that answers that. That answers that we're up against Pyre Acid at least. Now, without a doubt I want to try and grab objectives. How to best go about this? Because I want my entire fleet together to at least eat one of their ships. Yeah, I know it's Pyre Acid, since the tracking census makes that loud noise that you could tell they activated it. Here, I'll demonstrate. Now imagine with like all your ships being like that. Now Devourers are going to group up. You guys aren't grouped up. And actually this is the one objective I want. So you're going to just stay there and grab it for me, I suppose. And otherwise, we're gonna have to take our time. Because I can easily get scanner pulsed when I don't wish to. Do I even need Cumulonic Skin due to our matchup? I just go fast. I may want to brace for impact in all seriousness, but shields might be better. Okay, we have silent rushes for here. Which, again, I have no idea if my opponent's going to abuse that fact or not. Since I'm pretty certain I'm not going to hear their rushes. I do have fighters if I'm willing to give away my ship's position. Who am I kidding? I know how I want to do this. And I got my groups wrong, do I? Nope, I have the groups right, I think. Yep. We're just gonna wait for my opponent to take one of these objectives. And that was taking... Nope. Okay. That gives me some valuable intel. And both of them are over there. Now, the sucky thing is my Krakens are going to suffer possibly a ridiculous amount of fire assaults, but can they do the damage in kind to make up for it? Because my priority should not be the objectives. I just gotta get a good sense where the hive ship is before I commit to anything. It may not be the flagship, but by God, I want to murder the hell out of them. In fact, I should avoid the flagship just because of the Void Predator, the Void Lurker ability, just to jump out of the way.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yep, there goes my claws already, but I at least have the regeneration to make this faster, but I need to do damage quick.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And dang it, you're supposed to be meleeing the cursed things. You're not doing a good job meleeing. And damn it, I had the box control of everything, so this is already becoming an abysmal nightmare. Alright. I don't think this is going to help very much, but... because I need to set these cursed things to melee, I suppose, too, which is part of my problem. Oh, and I hit my own ship as a bonus.
Accumulated 25% of strategic points.
That was a terrible engagement. Again, you're supposed to be ramming. I thought the AI was supposed to have these things actually melee range. Oh, you are technically in melee range. That might be why. That explains that. But too little too late, I'm afraid. Because I'm just going to burn to death just because of this awkward positioning. Because apparently they could just rush and get away really damn well. And now... oh, my Void Lurker is permanently disabled, so it can't do much there either. I guess it's a good demonstration why the claws are not very effective. At least against, like, anything that has sudden movement abilities. Because this does me very little good. We haven't even got close to killing this one ship. Oh, the good news, it might actually break. But my ships are going to break as well in a moment. And these Krakens are doing crap because they're kind of... My own ship is in the way.
Has accumulated 50% of strategic
And you're supposed to be
points.
immune to ramming damage, for crying out loud. Oh my. If the flagship, if I decide not to commit kamikaze, this could still be a victory, because look how close these Krakens are to kind of breaking. It's just this one ship I think are keeping these things to focus. Who am I kidding? I could have had this in the entire time, but we're not doing any ramming damage and I can't make them rally. If I was able to somehow kill this ship, that might matter. What the hell? Oh, and apparently you were spot the entire time too. Oh, from the fighters. That might have been why. Yep, you're just gonna break due to the fire. So this is over. But yet ridiculously close if you think about it. I just wish I hadn't messed up with the controls, but again, Paradox could have just easily had the synapse link. That would not have been a big concern. I'm honestly not satisfied. I just gotta figure out the damn controls, I suppose, with these cursed things. If I had Psychic Scream, maybe that actually would have turned it around. But in all honesty, I should realistically expect them to have Synaptic Relay. So I can't go into... I can't grab Psychic Scream and expect them to not have that. If I were to be honest. But I'm not satisfied. I'm going to give Paradox a moment to find an opponent, and then I'm going to try this again. Because maybe there is something to this, it's just a problem. My claws easily get destroyed if I'm not using the... Unless I'm having the frigates try and ram them. Only the frigates are able to avoid having their claws get destroyed. It's still a question if I care about these void predators or void prowlers or not. For a lot of the same reason. Otherwise, let's try this one more time. And hopefully, I can give this kind of fleet some justice. Some good representation. As tempted as I am to go back into the boarding-centric type of fleet. Which would have been really interesting to see if I could pull it off against a Pyracid fleet. But they did make the Wrecking Ball a little bit simpler to utilize, which probably works pretty well now, at least with the Massive Claws. I just didn't realize it would hit my own ship too. And I don't think it ignores armor, so I still question its value. I'm just gonna have to think how to best take advantage of them rushing away from me. Well, in all honesty, that's not a bad thing, because then they're not shooting at me. So maybe I'm thinking about it all wrong. But come on, I just want one more opponent. Thank you kindly for listening to me. It's very rare the game actually listens to what the hell I'm randomly blundering about. Sometimes I don't even know. But let's get ourselves something that's not a mirror match, ideally. My. It's an opponent I don't recognize though, but still. I want something that was asymmetrical. There was at least an 11 and 1 chance of getting something completely different. Oh well. Is there anything I want to change with that said? I do like Chameleonic Skin a lot, but since I'm going so aggressively in their face, I don't know how practical that is. And I really do... Actually, let me just hang back with the flagship and the prowlers. I don't know how to actually get use out of them, since they're going to die so damn ridiculously quick. But I'm going to listen for the possibility of tracking senses or anything like that. I'm not hearing anything, so I'm going to assume maybe we're playing something different, or at least this is a less experienced player, I suppose. Or at least has doesn't have the main fleet at the very least, which would probably be the Pyro Asset. But the plan is just sit near the central point and see if my opponent decides to bite or not. We're doing a little bit of Tyranid fishing. That was not what I wanted in the slice, damn it. I gotta stop clicking so quickly. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal, I suppose. And I'm realizing again my rushes are silent, so do I abuse that fact? Because the uncertainty there is, I don't know if my opponent has the same experience or not, or if they can hear me rushing. So I think it's safer just not to do it, since I'm going to rely so much on getting the ambush. Actually, I do want to grab this 1.2, since that's kind of my entire plan. Even up the points and see if they try and take a stab at the final objective. So that's a frigate there that we can be certain of. And so long as I get the objectives before them, then I'm in good shape, and at least just having a point advantage, which I at least can be a little bit comfortable in.
You have seized a strategic area.
I just gotta be ready to jump. Well, actually, I think rushing so early, I should be doing this the same way as with Orks. Just don't use my rush until I'm in their face, and then use the rush when they try and evade or run away. As dumb as that possibly sounds, because I need to get literally ram them for these claws to do damage.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Let me pulse now, so at least that encourages them to not maybe reveal these Krakens. I was kind of hoping to reveal something, but I guess not. Alright, we're in position now. I have no fighters, and am I willing to kind of give away where one of my ships are for a fighter squadron? Since right now, I'm going to have at least 2 objectives. So I could just sit here and wait. Set up a campfire and eat some, or heat up some s'mores. I was thinking smorks. Smorks sounds better. Fried Orks is the best, especially if you're a Tyranid. I don't know what exactly smorks would entail, but I'm pretty certain it involves Orks. And well, that confirms what kind of player we're up against, I suppose. Now, how do you go about this? Pyro Asset. So we have that. And I'm not quite the best at dodging them, unless I burn retros as they're firing. A little bit tedious, but it works. Since I have nothing else to really do. Although flying towards the Pyro Asset's not part of the plan.
You have seized a strategic area.
Well, hello there. How are you doing? You want to come into my Venus flytrap? I promise it won't kill you. This might not be pretty. Children, avert your eyes now. Since their scanner pulse is on cooldown, so they're not going to see us coming. Ram! Nope, I'm being identified. Time to take it out on them. Munch, munch, munch. Let's keep this going, keep it moving forward. I know there's still more ships, but if we can hurt these more than they're hurting us, that's a good thing. I just gotta remember, my claws only work on the prow. And that was not really a ram, even though technically I did hit it. Now I'm waiting for the ship to get out of the way for Krakens to join in. And that wasn't even all my ships kind of revealed just yet. Munch it! Munch it! It's a bit of a weird exchange, it goes without saying. But we successfully munched their entire portion of their fleet. Where the hell is everything else, though? Because I honestly couldn't tell you if we got a better trade or not. Since what, I only lost a single Foy Prowler and a couple of Krakens, which are conveniently exploding. I could not tell you where the hell the rest of the fleet went. I was expecting the rest to be right behind it there out of my vision, but no. It is somewhere. I just could not for the life of you tell you where it is. Well, that answers that question. Nope, that was not what I want. Damn it, I want the wrecking ball and I hit the wrong button. But geez, did that wrecking ball do damage? Up. Now I gotta keep mine. Oh, you have spikes on you. 10 seconds to rush. I think realistically I want to rush this thing from multiple sides. And of course, my massive claw is gone. Oh, and my flagship's about to die too. Get the hell out. I don't want to suffer morale issues just because of inconvenient timing with my rush and claw being destroyed. I don't know how exciting that was to watch, because again, I was hoping for something like Imperial Navy, Mechanicus or something. And I have no clue how I should take this match. But it's a win, I suppose. I just, again, don't know what to really think. But I think that's it for me there. It was a good few hours of streaming at least. Good God. We murdered the hell out of that one AGI with a Space Marine fleet. I still am in disbelief about that. But thank you everyone for tuning in. It was definitely a good time, and hopefully I can get another stream tomorrow if I'm lucky enough, or have the time in all honesty.